Alright guys, welcome back. This is Andrew Talks. Today we are doing Sardine Peak Trail. If you remember my other hikes, my most recent hikes on the South Skyline Trail, that was, there was a mountain with a snow-capped top in those hikes. That was Sardine Peak. So what I am trying to do today is hike that trail and actually you know, get us up there and you know, actually look around. Funny thing is, as the crow flies, it is not terribly far from looks like there's quite a few, so I kind of start on this forest road, but basically what I was trying to say is as the crow flies from the old South Skyline Trail where we had all the rattlesnakes and everything else, we were not terribly far. I gotta lock my car before we leave. There we go. So anyway, as the crow flies, I mean, we could see the peak from there, but it was about 10 or 12 miles because we had to continue up the canyon, go around Pineview Reservoir, and then come up Mountain Pass, which is actually, we are in a ski resort. It is a snow basin ski resort. I mean, as you can see, we have snow here. But yeah, during the winter time, this is a pretty popular skiing place. Not as popular as Park City, but it's extremely close by, so a lot of people like it. Another close one is Powder Mountain, which is on literally the opposite side of the Pineview Reservoir. We are south of the reservoir. Powder Mountain will be on the north, and our canyon that we've done all these other hikes at is actually to the west of the reservoir, just to kind of give you a reference. But yeah, we've got the quaking aspen here. You know, the grass is nice and green. We have our snow here, you know, world famous snow, yeah, I won't be eating it because it makes me burp and that's annoying apparently, but yeah, the snow we have here, interestingly, we have had rain for about 4 days straight. As you can see, the ground is still a little damp. It's been dry for a day, so I expect there to be quite a bit of snow, so I brought my winter coat if it gets cooler. Before we entered the Ogden Canyon, and we were actually in like the greater Ogden area, it was 66 degrees. By the time we reached here, at the parking lot here at Snow Basin, it was 54 degrees. I expect, and that's supposed to be the high, it's about 66 today. I expect when we get to the very top, it would be, you know, low 40s or so. But we're actually only supposed to be gaining about 1,400 feet of elevation. That is not a lot. That is the least amount of elevation gain of all of our hikes we have done so far. And it's also a long hike. It's an out and back, and it looks like they actually did their math properly. Sometimes on out and backs on Owl Trail, they only count the out, and then they basically hope that you can realize that coming back is another X amount of miles. At least that's how I read it. Maybe I'm an idiot, which is highly probable. But anyway, we are, actually those leaves look like tulip poplar leaves, but I know they're quaking aspen. That's kind of funny. Sorry, trees. I used to work on trees, so, but that was back in Ohio, so I'm not familiar with every species out here. But anyway, I don't really know how cool it should be at the summit, but we should have good views. There's actually quite a few hikes that we can do from here. Maybe this will be a new base camp for me. There is a way to get up from the Ogden Canyon, where we've done a lot of our hikes at, just up the road, probably another half mile from where we've been like jumping out of for the old South Skyline Trail and you know, about a mile up the road from the Coldwater Creek Canyon or whatever. There is another place that we can start, and it's called Wheeler Creek or Wheeler's Creek. And that is basically, it adds another 4 miles or so, and then you're actually gaining up this mountain. That could be cool, but eventually you're going to hit the same trail that we're on now. Well, maybe not this. This is like a forest road that's going to give us access. So I don't know how soon we would want to basically redo it. You know, that'd be kind of lame, I think. So yeah, we're at approximately 6,000 feet elevation right now, 6,200 it says. We're gonna follow this road a long way. Yeah, so basically our summit would be about 7,500 feet, which is fine. So, yep. Anyway, pretty interesting. I'm excited for it. I want some nice mountain views, and anytime there's snow, you better believe I get excited. We will have to wait and see. Obviously, I don't expect snakes, thank God, because it has been too cold and there is snow. So yeehaw. This is supposed to be a pretty heavily trafficked trail, but it is a weekday. It is Wednesday. So I actually think it's going to be fairly quiet, which obviously I always like. And then, yeah, we will hopefully just go without a hitch. I swapped out from my old water bladder, which means I had to take it out of my get home bag. The blue one I have been using, as you know, I've been complaining a lot about it. Pulled it out of my fridge this morning, and I had like a bag of carrots sitting on top, which, you know, whatever, that's what you know, there's limited space in the fridge. But the hose came unattached. They're kind of like heat shrink wrapped around like the threads so that they stay on. This is the second time that has come off. And then on my last hike, the mouthpiece kept yanking off and everything else. It's just not super high quality. There's really nothing redeemable besides the fact that it holds water for you. So I'm just frustrated with it. I didn't bring it. I'll just refill this bladder and put it back in my get home bag. This is a perfect place though. We've got plenty of birds, they're all talking. That's really sweet. Got a nice meadow here with some shrubs. It's just picturesque mountain space. Again, this place is a ski resort during the winter months. As you see, we still have plenty of snow up there. I don't really know what mountain that is. I mean, I can look. Let me see. That is, if it has a name. It doesn't. There's a campground up there, it says. Anyway, there are quite a few peaks we can do, which I would like to do. I think everyone likes a summit and an outlook. That would be fun. Again, I'm trying to like ease myself into these miles because of my tendons and everything. I should have stretched before I got out of the car, but I didn't. But this is very flat, easy going. Frankly, I may just be over prepared for this hike if it continues like this. I didn't know what I was getting into. That's kind of the whole thing. We're all kind of learning together. So, I don't know. It's very nice out here so far. Makes me very happy. It's very relaxing. So yeah, anyway, we should be able to see the mountain we were climbing in that valley that we were hiking up last week. pretty much clear as day. I don't know what kind of wildlife people typically run into out here, with it being a resort most of the year, and then being pretty popular. I don't expect to run into, you know, predators or anything like that. I did not bring any defensive weapons because I was expecting a lot of people. Hopefully that's not a mistake. But with how this is like a main road, you really shouldn't run into too much. Animals tend to understand, you know, deer, of course not, they're dumb. But like predators and such that really don't like people, they're pretty good about that. Got some dog prints, some shoe prints, nothing crazy. Some fat mountain bike trail, mountain bike tire treads. I think we'll be fine. So yeah, I have experimented quite a bit with uploading my videos. Sometimes I try 4K, 1080, lossless for like how I upload it, everything. And frankly, I was recording the last 2 hikes in 4K, and they're simply way too big to be uploaded in 4K for whatever reason. Basically, I kind of time out. My internet upload speed is like 180 megabytes per second, which is a lot, but it's not enough. Like, I'm not hitting a data cap. It's kind of confusing. I may or may not be hitting a data cap. But I also could be just taking too long to upload. I know that's a big problem with processing and everything else. It'll just quit after a while. So I'm gonna try and do 1080. I'm doing 60 frames per second instead of 30. Maybe that'll help smooth it out. I'll upload it as a lossless as well. And then I've been adjusting the exposure on the last video I did, because I noticed the first old South Skyline Trail hike was kind of whited out. It was just too much, like creek beds, gravel roads like this were blindingly white. So toning down the exposure would really help. Little mountain pond here, and then, you know, snow covered mountains above. Pretty cool. So far it's been a very peaceful little hike. All right, let's continue on. So, yeah, I don't know. This could definitely be a trail I take my fiance on. Doesn't appear to be strenuous at all. Some people say like the last bit's kind of a trailblazing, bushwhacking kind of stuff. I don't know. Got a trail that shoots off here. Let me see what this is. That's a different one, but it's another way we can get to the Sardine Peak. Interesting. All right, well, we'll continue up this side, the left side. The right side is this one right here. As you can see, they do say only use it when it's dry. With how much coverage it has, even now it'd be probably too wet. It'd be kind of slippery because this is the kind of mud that just sticks to the soles of your shoes, you know, and it's really slippery. But yeah, so far this is easy peasy. A stroll in a park. But yeah, the last little bit apparently is a bit of a bushwhack. That doesn't bother me, obviously. So who cares? So yeah, I've had a lot of problems with the uploading and stuff. The first old South Skyline Trail hike, when I lost the drone and everything, that actually took me, gosh, how long did that take? About 2 weeks to upload it. It was such a pain in the butt. Nothing was working. The first time I actually successfully uploaded it, it was muted because I'm dumb. So now, now everything's going pretty well. I've making mistakes like this and having to teach myself lessons the hard way. It's certainly helping me be better at editing. But I am fortunate enough that my hiking videos are super raw. You know, it's really just me recording my hike. But for like reviews and stuff of products, like cutting clips in and stuff, I don't know how to do that yet. Adding music, I don't know how to do yet. I just have a lot to learn still. Look at this mountain meadow up here. Bunch of quaking aspen, snow-capped mountains. Oh, that's nice grass. Pretty quiet. Give you guys a minute to absorb this. See, it's pretty weird. Today is June 1st, if I am not mistaken. And we still have, yeah, it's the 1st. We still have snow in spots. It's still quite cool. Now it can snap and we can get up to almost 80 degrees, but it's been unseasonably cooler lately. It's just interesting. Oh, dropped my phone because I'm dumb. Okay. There's a lot of like little, there's apparently a campground out here. Frankly, you could camp darn near anywhere you want. A lot of trails intersecting out here. Mountain bikers do ride out here, so they've kind of got their own little paths carved out. Yeah, it's nuts. It's June though. Last year, we thought it was pretty interesting when we went off-roading near Manawa, or Manaway, whatever they call it. there's an off-roading trail that we took my fiance's Gladiator on, and it was about 2 feet of snow at some spots. Really interesting. That was interesting because it was May. It's now June and I'm still seeing snow. It's just, I don't know, kind of cool. I like that it is still cooler out. And then the reservoir, Pineview Reservoir, last year, and like before the end of the summer, was at like 10% capacity. It was almost dry. They were really concerned about our water levels and everything else, and if we'd have enough water. I know like Lake Powell down in Arizona and Lake Mead in Nevada, all these huge reservoirs which supply energy and drinking water for all these major population centers, are still at like historic lows, and they're barely above operational levels for the dams for hydroelectric power. So that is alarming for them. And then we here Pineview is actually darn near all the way up to capacity, so that's good. So yeah, as you see, it says, maybe you can't see, right here, Ogden Canyon Overlook to Sardine Peak Trail. That's what we'll be taking. No dirt bikes. There's a little picnic table right here. That'd be a cool place to just talk to you guys or whatever. There was some literature here, but it's all basically gone. Yeah, it's all right. So we'll just continue on this path. And your battery is fine. Cool. I shouldn't be having to like disconnect you guys and swap out batteries as much either, because 1080p is less intense for the battery. So yep. So yeah, I don't know if I needed the coat, but my coworkers who are native to this area did warn me about doing these hikes, these longer, higher mountain ones, that it can get kind of treacherous. And that's something I've said before, is out here you're kind of on your own. But this is a pretty popular hike. I don't know. The weather can really pick up, though. It was a big warning I've seen. But we should be fine today, it looks like. And then there is another hike I'll probably do next if I don't hurt myself or whatever. As you know, the last one we did was the old South Skyline Trail. There is the South Skyline Trail, though. It goes all the way across the ridges of the Ogden Mountain Range. That's not their name. There's about 4 different names for the mountains out here. Anyway, it's like 13 miles, but it'll carry you from one canyon to the next, the one to the north. They both feed into like the area near the Pineview Reservoir, just at different points. I'm stretching right now if you're wondering. But it would take us along like the spine of the mountains. That'd be really cool. especially if the weather keeps cool like this. Clearly, if it's like 90 degrees, you're not gonna have any shade. It's gonna really be hot. I bought a hat for that. I'm not a hat guy, but you better believe I'd be wearing one then. Oh, I forgot my sunglasses, darn it. Oh, gotta turn around, guys, let's go. Anyway, the bright weather and everything, sorry, being out there exposed to the sun, if it gets hot, would certainly require more water, sunscreen, more preparation. But yeah, that's the next hike I have my eye on. And then maybe we'll come back here to Snow Basin and do some other mountain hikes, because there's plenty of other peaks that we can get to from out here. And I just think that's super cool. And then we can work our way kind of around the Pineview Reservoir as well. There's plenty of other like mountains and hikes out there. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm kind of working my way in a direction. Just trying to learn my area better. So, yeah. I don't know. This should be fun though. This should be a good hike. So, yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. My videos are starting to pick up a bit in viewership. Adding reviews to my channel has actually brought in not new subscribers. I have 7 now. Last week I had like 5, which is basically just family. These other 2 might be family, or they could be, the Talks crew or whatever. I don't know, whatever you guys want to call yourselves. But actual fans of the channel just for the material. Yeah, my hikes are basically most of my major hikes are now at 25 views each, which is cool. And then my home, the video on that is today at like 32 views. My Kelty Asher backpack review, I actually think is helping draw in some viewers. And I am starting to get some data on like different channels that people are being recommended to come check out my stuff from. I don't know. I have tried to do some basic research on like how to grow. I like doing this, and I like having an excuse to do it every week. So just let you guys look at this meadow. They say, consistent uploads is a big one. I have other videos kind of stockpiled, and so they're all scheduled to roll out once a week. And then I have these hikes as well. And so if I continue to upload all that, basically on a bi-weekly basis, that should really help get more attention. I don't know, I'm just pretty stoked that I think my total viewership, the total amount of views on all my videos now is basically about 300 views. It's really funny that gets me excited, because I know all I really watch is YouTube, besides like Grand Tour and Top Gear on Amazon. I'll watch some movies obviously, but that's basically it. And a lot of my YouTuber people I really like talk in a similar way, how it was such a big deal when they got 100 views or whatever. Yeah, it's addicting, it's fun, and it's rewarding you know, positive reinforcement to keep doing this stuff. It is a nice hike. We've got a helicopter out there. Can't see him yet. The aspens are blocking it, but everything's going pretty good. Done 1 mile so far. It's been like 30 minutes. And your battery's about half. Cool, cool. So, yeah, I am really having fun with this. I'm learning a lot doing it. I'm getting a big head, but I'm thinking I'm actually kind of good at this exploration kind of crap. Call me stupid, call me crazy, tell me I have a big head. I'm right, you're right. Like last week, climbing those cliffs and stuff. No, they weren't super tall or anything, but doing it while afraid of running into more rattlesnakes, which I definitely did. Ran into 4. Luckily, they're all but one was frozen. But I don't know. I feel like doing that stuff while you feel like you're in danger really shows like your mettle and you know, being able to press on and or navigate the area with that in mind and stuff. I don't know. I feel kind of cool or good about myself. You know, it's been fun. That looks like a bed, like a deer or something. There's bedding in there. How it's all kind of smushed down. That would make a lot of sense. It actually does smell kind of livestocky, like manure or something. I don't know. Well, there is horse poo here, so that might be why. It's kind of old though. I think I've told you guys I worked on 2 different farms as a kid. Through high school and like the first year of college, I worked on a small family farm. We borrowed land from a neighbor along with their own land, basically equaling about 20 acres. They had 6 or 7 horses, and it was basically me maintaining it and stuff. I did eventually get some kids to help, like some friends, and that was fun. It was like my first experience being a boss. But they were like a as needed kind of thing. I was the daily guy, 7 days a week, feeding and checking the fence and all the little stuff that's part of having horses in a farm. That was a lot of fun. Loved it. Super life-changing experience. Great people. And then the next one was not so positive. It was an 80-acre horse farm. It was a boarding facility, and there was about 80 to 90 horses there. And I didn't apparently know how to do math. And in exchange for 20 hours of work every week, I would get free housing. Well, let's just say at $10 an hour. 20 hours a week, $10 an hour would be $200 a week. And then monthly it'd be 800 bucks. That's what a good apartment in Ohio was running for at the time. I really wanted to be on a farm again. It was really awesome for me. And also, my ex-wife, who was my wife at the time, her mom had just died. Our church that I was a part of, we received indirect kind of death threats and stuff. I was like the youth pastor for the high schoolers and everything else. We went through a lot of crap. It was really bad. So I mean, my mouth was just covered in ulcers all the time. So I was pretty excited to just, what I thought was get out and away, kind of calm down, kind of live like a hobbit, you know, just a simple life, nice life, kind of in the country. But it really wasn't. The house predated the Civil War. The windows were shattered and replaced with plexiglass, which leaks like a sieve. There was no central heating or cooling. So during the summer, we were super busy, you know, having to bush hog and mend fences, take care of the animals, all sorts of things. So they didn't want us chopping down trees and chopping up firewood and letting it season for the coming winter, which is really, really, really dumb. So by the time winter came, it was like for about a month. It was like all of February. It was in the negatives. It was like -20 some days. And, you know, there was like a mile long driveway. I would have to like snowplow, but it wasn't snowplow. On the front of the John Deere tractor was a giant snowblower, and it was so windy out there. Most of that slush just came back onto me in this -degree weather. It was really, really brutal. And it'd take 4 to 6 hours to do the whole driveway just because there was just so much. And you'd freeze or buff, you'd have to run inside and warm up a little bit. Anyway, long story short, we were using electric space heaters because we were running out of wood. And they were, you know, upset with us because we were using too much electricity. And, well, if you chop down a tree in winter, and the stuff that was out there that we were able to chop and stuff was freezing cold, not seasoned, soaked by the snow and stuff. So it was almost impossible to light. And so it was really brutal. You could see your breath inside. I had to wear 4 pairs of socks. Had to leave the taps on, you know, for our water so that our pipes wouldn't freeze. It was just dangerous. So I just wound up basically ignoring them, you know, saving my own skin. And, you know, yeah, I burned what I could, but I was definitely using space heaters. And then when spring came, we just moved out of there. But yeah, that was rough. That was one of the dumbest mistakes I ever made. That was when I was applying for the Coast Guard. So yeah, you learn a lot making mistakes like that. You learn a lot. So yeah, I do want my own farm one day and stuff. But I am, you know, just very cautious about, you know, I think back to all the mistakes I made with that. And I don't want to make those mistakes again. So one day it'd be nice to, you know, get my own land and stuff. But yeah, you got to kind of think more than just with your emotions on that stuff. Because my emotions almost cost me my toes and everything else. Like, that was dangerous. Oh, okay, so here, I'll show you a view of the resort in like 5 seconds. So this is Snow Basin Resort. We're parked in that parking lot right there, but I mean, the resort's over here as well. You can kind of see a snow-capped mountain out there, But yeah, all this snow out here, you can kind of see where their trails for skiing were at. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. It's nice, nice weather out here today. So yeah, we've went, I don't know, as a crow flies, probably a mile and a half maybe. Yeah, it says we're at a mile and a half. So that's about, I don't know, almost a mile away, because we zigzag. Let me see, there's a 30-yard dumpster out there, and it looks like it's basically a 1/4 inch from here. I mean, my fingernail on my thumb is like 3 or 4 times wider than it. So yeah, I'd say it's probably around 1,000 to 1,200 yards away. Anyway, speaking of like 1,000 yards, actually from here to like where that dumpster is, that's the furthest I've ever shot. I went to a shooting range out in Ohio somewhere. I forget where it was, but I shot 1,000 yards with his like 338 Lapua. And then with my AR, I was connecting out to like 600 yards, and that was with a crazy crosswind. It was like 25-mile-an-hour gusts, and it was, you know, constant, you know, pretty constant. So that was impressive. And I only had a red dot at the time. I mean, I still only have, you know, I don't have magnification, but I was connecting pretty consistently with that. And then at 200 yards, I was just ringing that plate, like ting, ting, ting. You know, it was pretty cool. That was fun. But yeah, that should kind of give you an idea of how far like 1,000 yards is. So, yeah. It is 12:37. We've been going for about 45 minutes. Your battery is still all right, which is cool. We've only gained 400 feet though. And so we're still due to gain like 1,000 feet. But with it only being a mile and a half, it's like an 8-mile round trip. So I would imagine at this, the climbing rate is about this, you know, every mile and a half, you gain 400 feet, which would add up to being about what we want for this hike. And that's what people said. It's not a difficult hike. It's just a little long. But if it's like this, you know, yeah, some of the other stuff I've done is, you know, really hard on the body. This is not. This is a trail at some park, you know, basically. So anyway, yeah, I was talking about the farm and everything else. Yeah, if you're ever going to make a big decision in life, really look at it from like multiple angles, because that was a huge mistake. I made a lot of them when I was young. I still do. You know, when I had my company, I made a lot of mistakes. That was how I learned, unfortunately. My business partner and I were doing really, really well when we started, doing like really fancy decks. And I'm handy. My partner was kind of, because I had known him for years and years. When I was in high school, I did his landscaping and some small things here and there with him. And we were, you know, really good friends. He was, you know, he's like 50. He's got to be almost 60 now. But yeah, it was kind of like a Doc Brown and Marty McFly kind of relationship, just an old friend. You know, he and I went into business together, just doing decks and stuff. You know, one of them was over 1,000 square feet. It was huge, really pretty though. They all went really well. And then he had some opportunities to do like an attic. And I was like, well, yeah, sure, that's fine. You know, an attic should be pretty straightforward. And he was supposed to kind of teach me as we went along, and he did. But then after the attic, we went right into doing like his cousin's basement in Indianapolis. It was like a 2-hour commute. And that actually went really well too. So we were getting pretty confident. So we started adding on, we had an addition job, which the addition was a nightmare. Kitchens, which every kitchen went really easy. Kitchens are not bad at all. But anytime you have like old work, hence like when we had that addition, that house was basically 100 years old, and trying to match up old and new walls and all this other stuff is a real pain. And he really wasn't there a lot, so it was mostly me improvising a lot. And you know, it brings me shame that that's how it was, but I didn't have control over it. And so like, he was always a very optimistic and hungry dude. So he was always willing to have us check out more jobs and stuff. And what wound up happening is before we closed up one job, he was getting 2 more, you know, which is great. But a lot of these people wanted us to start ASAP. And at one point we had like 4 different jobs going in all different parts of the state. The southern half of the state. So we're just running around, you know, and everything was kind of just became very hectic. And he had his main job going during that time. And you know, I kept telling him, dude, you need to go full time, because like it's just chaotic. And you know, I had my employee Tanner, who was awesome, great kid, and we had a lot of fun working together. He was very smart and he had a great work ethic. But you know, Tanner and I could only do so much. And then, so by the time he went full time, we had bought a building and we were going to turn it into a cabinetry and granite showroom. That was 2,800 square feet, brown and brown and brown, with red awnings, you know. We were going to add a mezzanine to it and add like another 50% to the square footage. So it would have been about 3,600 square feet or so. It used to be a laundromat, so we had a lot of stuff to tear out of there, and we did. Clean it up, white box it, which is like, you know, repaint it, get it all prepped for whatever you want. And so we did that. And basically by that time, basically when we bought the house or building, was when he started having a lot of problems with sleep deprivation and stress. The snow and everything is so pretty. And we basically limped along, getting that done and all the other jobs done for the next 2 months. And then he was able to get medicated, but he was on like sleep studies for like a week. It was just really bad. So, by then it was like too much too late, and you know, I was telling him like, you know, just get another job, you know, it's okay. And I kind of got some people talking too, like family and stuff. Everybody kind of thought that he kind of betrayed me, but I was telling him to find other employment because it was too much for him. And I couldn't take over on my own. Now, if I was just doing like the small stuff like the decks, or doing like simple kitchen jobs, I could have absolutely kept going. But I was ready to be done too. So that was when I went and worked for my brother, driving trucks. And that was great. My CDLs have been a great skill to have for when I've moved across the country all the times I have. Because everyone needs truck drivers. Here in Utah is a weird state because they pull triples here like nobody's business, and dump trucks are being used as Class A's, like they're hauling dump trailers behind their already quad axle dump truck. And I have no interest in doing all that because the pay is the same or less than I was getting paid in other states for a true Class B job. So I wasn't interested. So yeah, no, I mean, so all my moves, I mean, I grew up in Ohio, as you know. Then I moved to Arizona for my fiance when she was getting her master's at Arizona State University. I went there and I applied. Before I even moved there, I would drive like 30 hours to get there. And one time I was applying for the Phoenix Police Department. Oh, geez. I heard a bunch of flies and I thought it was a rattlesnake, guys. There was a pile of poop. So anyway, I went to Phoenix. I was gonna try out for the police department. I drove 30 hours straight after working a 12-hour day. Got into Arizona, Phoenix, and met with my fiance. Well, she wasn't my fiance then, she was just my girlfriend, but we may as well have been engaged. We may as well have been married the last, 5-6 years. But anyway, met up, had dinner, went home, slept for like 4 hours, then went to, what is it, like Canyon State University, where there's a Christian college there in like the greater Phoenix area that was like holding the exam. And so I went there with very little sleep, basically still extremely exhausted. And if you've ever stayed up that long and done that to your body, it takes a long time to recoup. So I did the exams and stuff, and I passed, but I barely passed. Like passing was a 70, I got a 71. But that's considering the fact that I basically was up for 2 days straight and got 4 hours sleep and then took this exam. So really I should have been, way up there as a test, if I had proper sleep and everything else. So that should have shown I was a really good candidate, right? So then, I come back, I go back to Ohio to go back to work and stuff like that and wait. And then they're like, okay, come in for a polygraph. And then, we'll get you started with the academy. Well, I moved down there. I actually moved by this point. Have time to like get all my stuff out of my car. And then talk to them about scheduling the polygraph. They're like, all right, well, you need to become a resident of the state. I was like, well, can't I just, wait until after all this and then do it? Like, no, you gotta do it now. And I really only had like 2 days. So I went to the BMV and I had saved up about $5 or $6 grand for the move and everything else and wait until work started. And the state of Arizona said I couldn't transfer my CDLs because I didn't have all my paperwork on me. So I had to forfeit my CDLs because I had to do this, they said. Because I wouldn't get all my paperwork in time, obviously. Then, so that really sucks. So I was like all in, you know, no plan B, right? Then, they were like, hey, you gotta pay taxes on your car. I'd owned the car for about a year or two at this point, on the value of it or what you paid for it. I was charged 10% tax on it, so I wound up paying like $3,000 in taxes on my car again because they have a higher tax rate than state of Ohio. So I really got screwed then. Then I was down to like $2,000 or less of money saved up. I go and get the polygraph the like next day, and the guy giving me the test was a really assertive, kind of a emotionally abusive jerk, trying to use PG talk here. Nice and snowy, guys. He accused me of lying on every single criteria: drug use, murder, rape, bank robbery, you know, theft, fraud, anything you can think of. Said every one of those criterias I failed and I was lying. And I was like, well, wouldn't that suggest that maybe we need to recalibrate, or like I'm nervous or something, we should retest? He's like, no, you're a liar, you know, you're a rapist, whatever, you're all these things. Trying to coerce a confession out of me. It was extremely abusive and messed up. It took me, so I failed it and I tried to appeal and say, hey, can I just retest again? This is obviously like ridiculous. That's not right. Let me retest. And they wound up like after like a month saying no. And at that point I was completely broke and I was trying to find other employment out there and I couldn't. So I had to move back to Ohio, work for my brother again, but you know, get my CDLs again. So that was freaking terrible. That person, there's only so many times in life you actually see such intentional deceit, lying, manipulation, evil really come to bear. It was messed up. I don't know how someone can do that and sleep at night unless they are like, you know, a sociopath, psychopath, whatever, because ruining someone's life like that is just horrible. Because he also said, you know, if you apply for any other police department, we're gonna know and we're gonna tell them that you failed and you're horrible, you know, all this crap. I was just like, what the F? I don't know why I've said this jokingly, but it's kind of serious. I must have like a super punchable face, because some people really like me, or some people like just wish the worst for me. And I never try to do anything bad to hurt people or whatever, but this kind of behavior has happened before, and I don't know what to do about it. You know, you can't really control people. You're getting really low on battery. Boop. Hold on. All right, guys. Hey, I'm going to continue the story after I swap out batteries, okay? Bye. All right, guys, we're back. So, as I was saying, I've had people like that before. You know, I've had a lot of really unfair things happen, but you can't control the way people treat you or how things happen to you. But the only thing you can control is how you respond. And that's kind of always been my motto is, you know, no matter how hard my life gets, I spend my time to grieve, you know. And I did when that bad stuff happened with the polygraph and everything, and I thought that would be my new way of serving my country and getting that out of my system. You know, I really wanted to do that. since I couldn't do the military because of my ex-wife. So I thought that being in the police department would be my way. And then I couldn't do it. So I spent, you know, about a week bemoaning the circumstance, and then I had to make a plan, you know, how to survive, how to keep going, move forward. And that's always kind of been how I operate. You know, I give myself time to cry and whine about how unfair things are, and then I get it out of my system, suck it up, and then move forward. Look at those wildflowers, that's pretty. They would look a lot better if they weren't frozen and stuff, you know, but that does look nice. I like these wildflowers. So, anyway, that sucked. Had to move on, had to go back to Ohio and get re-licensed, and, you know, move forward with that, with my CDLs and driving for my brother. Luckily, my brother is a good guy, and he took me back, you know. That's the nice thing about family and small towns is loyalty. That is one thing I've noticed being elsewhere, different parts of the country and stuff. Not everyone believes in loyalty. My coworkers kind of ask me, you know, why don't I like compliments and stuff? Well, coming from small towns and working for families and everything else, or I've almost always worked for families, small companies and stuff. You work for them, you show up at work on time. You may not get a raise because the small companies can't afford it, but they're going to be loyal to you. They're going to take care of you as best they can. And working for these bigger places, you know, people will, and these S&P companies, S&P 500, whatever, Fortune 500 companies, you may get just showered with compliments. But the second you do something wrong, your chopped liver, they will throw you to the wolves and be more than willing to see, you know, for horrible things to happen. You know, you lose your house, you lose your car, you lose your reputation. If people say bad things about you, you're on your own. And, you know, people will cast you aside quickly and easily. And the amount of goodness you do does not matter and is quickly forgotten. However, working for small companies like family owned, or being from a small town, people are a lot more reliable. I think. I'm biased. You mess up, you do something bad, or you don't, but people are trying to say bad things about you, they will kind of stand up for you, take care of you, not let it change their opinion of you, whatever. But a lot of people, you know, the second someone says something bad about you, whether or not it's true or not, and you have a wonderful reputation, it may as well be in concrete, etched in stone for them. So the Ogden Overlook is that way, and the Sardine Trail goes that way. We're going to continue this way, obviously. I don't know if that's Sardine Peak or not. That would be way too close, I would imagine, but there is a little peak there. But yeah, how pretty is this out here? This is what I thought, like, all of the West was. Now you get to like Wyoming, Montana, yeah, it is still like this. But Utah, man, it is getting built up fast. So it says I have gone 2.2 miles. We're about halfway there, it looks like. And then it kind of loops around Sardine Peak, but it doesn't actually go to the peak. You kind of have to, that's what they mean by bushwhacking, I guess. So we could cut some distance out by doing that. So I would say, yeah, we've got about 2 miles left and then we're there, but we still need to gain about 800 feet of elevation. It shouldn't be bad. But yeah, I prefer working for small companies, you know, mom and pop owned stuff, but it's kind of hard to build a career with mom and pop things, unfortunately. I do have a good job, you know, working for an S&P 500 company that's associated with the military and doing like important stuff, so I feel like I'm doing my service that way. But it's the same way where somebody has an allegation against you, they could shower you with compliments, you know, all the time. But if someone says something naughty about you, whether it's true or not, or it's just someone's perspective, and even if you have a bunch of eyewitnesses saying something the opposite, you may be fired. And it's so foreign to me, you know. From small towns, like, that just doesn't happen unless you, there would have to be, I don't know. I don't like it. So I was telling my coworker, I was like, you know, compliments for me, from where I come from and everything else, is essentially a currency. You know, if you give me a compliment, that's like a little tally mark, like, okay, you did one good thing here. So now you have to do one bad thing here to negate it, and now you're neutral again. So if you're giving me a million check marks or whatever saying, you know, good things, good things, good things, I'd have to do one huge whopper of a bad thing, like assault someone or whatever, to negate all that, or a bunch of small things, you know, just really suck all of a sudden, you know, like, man, I don't know what happened to Bob, man, he used to be awesome, but now he doesn't show up on time, he's showing up drunk or whatever, you know, things like that, you know. But simple allegations that, like, somebody would have, like, other witnesses would be like, no, it didn't happen that way, you know, it was an accident, whatever, doesn't matter, you could be fired. So for me, I just don't feel like it matters. And these big companies, like, if you want to prove to me I'm a good employee, just pay me more. Besides that, I don't care. Because I'm as close to being fired today as I am tomorrow. For whatever reason, if I make a mistake, I know I'm fried, you know, and that's just terrible. But HR and everything else has basically just ruined companies. They're so afraid of lawyers and everything else that, you know, whiny employees where it could just ruin your career at the drop of a hat. Especially as a white dude who's straight. I've had problems in the past where, like, I've gotten in trouble over stuff that other people don't, but it's because they're, you know, the cultural Marxism, you know, the intersectionality. The more boxes you check, the more protected you are, the more your word means something. People don't necessarily like me anymore. It doesn't matter if you're a hard worker, good worker, come well dressed or whatever, have a good attitude. It matters about how many boxes you check anymore. This is pretty. Oh. Okay. So, man, it smells great. Let me show you what this whole canyon. Okay, so out there you can actually see another mountain range way across the Salt Lake Valley. You can actually see what looks like a body of water, and there's some like salt beds. That is the Great Salt Lake. That shouldn't be Antelope Island. Antelope Island is south, so that's just the other side of the valley. So anyway, all that down there is like Ogden, South Ogden, Layton, Pleasant View, North Ogden, everything, Harrisville, and whatever. So that canyon goes north and south for like 90 miles to kind of give you an idea. And because you're locked between two mountains ranges and it's just north and south like this, that's where all the population is at, and it's really built up. Out here in the mountains, like, it isn't at all. But it kind of sucks that there's so many people here. Anyway, this is the Ogden Canyon right here. Down here in between these two mountains you see here. That is the road I would take up here to get to all of our trails. Over there, you see this peak right here and how it comes down like that. You know, like, so this, whatever. There is another mountain behind it. I think that's the canyon that Old South Fork is attached to, because this is definitely not it. Now, I could probably look up online right now and look at where the Coldwater Canyon is at, and we might be like just above it. Because if you remember, we were climbing up that snow and it looked like you could just bushwhack your whole way up, but it was just getting so steep and it was so snowy, it was getting dangerous. So, Grey Cliff Lodge. Let me pause this. Oops. Okay, so here am I. This is, you know, the Sardine Peak Trail right over here. And then this is Coldwater Canyon. So, over this way, that mountain and all that you see were the ones overlooking the Coldwater Canyon, or Coldwater Creek Canyon, whatever, trail. So basically beyond this mountain just in front of us would be, if I can look at the topography, it might be exactly true. Yeah. Would basically right beyond here, you'd be very close to where we were coming up in all that snow on my first hike. But yeah, pretty cool, huh? So that's cool. And what's nice is, for some reason I kind of understood, I was trying to look at its location versus this. And then yeah, down here is the, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that is the South Fork, Old South Fork Trail right there. So yeah, cool. Let's resume this, continue on our way. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty fun. Up here, with how much sun there is, you could definitely see like a rattlesnake, I'm sure. Luckily there's not a lot of hiding places, obviously, but I am gonna scan a little bit. This desert flower right here, or mountain flower, that is pretty. I really do like it. And I like this. This is a great view. Just a quiet, birds chirping. It's very nice. Yep. All right. So yeah, this hasn't been a bad hike at all. I don't think we would have to record the way back. It's going to be exactly the same. Oh. Hey guys, I hit my steps. So anyway. Shut up. So anyway, yeah, because it is an out and back. But I do think we should spend some time up there looking out and stuff. Maybe I'll talk about some other stuff. There's a lot going on in the world at the moment. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think everything's getting pretty screwy. So I moved to Phoenix. Okay, so from Ohio to Arizona was one move, then back to Ohio because it all went to crap. Then eventually my fiance got a job indirectly working with the Navy. So we went out there to California, Maryland at like the Pax River Naval Base near there. And that's why when COVID hit, we were so screwed because it's on a peninsula and it's really far south. You have to go like north for an hour and a half, 2 hours to reach DC, and then you can basically finally start to go into the mainland. It's just, you're way out there. So anyway, then we went from Maryland to Utah, but you know, it's just been kind of hectic. And moving all those times, every time because she has expensive taste when it comes to her engagement ring. It took me basically 3 or 4 years to save up for it. Because every time I got close, you know, I'd move out to wherever she's at, and I'd have to live off my savings, and something would go wrong. So, we've been here long enough, I was able to save up and do it finally. Her ring, to give you an idea, was appraised for $18,000. A lot of money. I didn't pay that, but that's what it's appraised for. It's beautiful, and I'm glad to do it. It's just, it took forever. I had been on like Rare Care all the time for several years, so I knew what the prices were and what's a good price. And there was a day where something was, you know, the diamond, and then, you know, you can build the band with it, was just, what had to be a clerical error for a price. And so I jumped on it. I bought it, ordered it, and you know, that was super exciting. I was really kind of unsure when I was gonna get it because it had to be built, made for me, so then I could finally give it to her. At that time, I didn't know whether or not I was gonna wind up going down and working with NASA for a little bit. There's a project going on, pretty cool. Would have been, you know, historical for me, you know, being a part of history. That would have been really cool. But look at that bird. You know, I didn't get to. They actually asked a bunch of people, and everyone wanted to do it, obviously. And you know, just way too many people offered. So, you know, I didn't have to go. I would have been there for months. I love Florida, so that was a bummer. And my buddy actually was like, who lives in Florida, is like 2 hours away. So that would have been awesome. We could hang out like on my long weekends. That would have been just the best. It's so funny. He and I are great friends, but we've actually never met. We're friends through Alex and, you know, all his college buddies. Seems like Alex is like, it's really easy for him to make a bunch of friends. You know, he's very outgoing, and he'll just tell you whatever kind of story you want to hear to entertain you. You know, he's just great at telling stories. He's fun. So he's always had a bunch of friends, and by extension they are then my friends. But yeah, no. Well, we've actually never met, but you know, we all play video games together and stuff. It's a real bunch of fun. There's a lot of water up here, which is good. Like I said, the reservoir has been filling up. It's basically darn near to capacity, which is fantastic. So, yeah, I don't know. That would have been fun. Didn't get to do it, but my job's really cool. It's important. I touch a lot of different things because of what I do. So I am still very proud to do what I do and know it's important. There is a little cactus in there, right along those rocks. Can you see it? See him? All his little pokies. Pretty cool. There's really not a lot. Here's a bundle of them. We don't get a lot of cactus out here. Not like you see in Arizona. But actually, speaking of cactus and stuff, my house, my landscaper, we have to get irrigation put in. It's just the rules of the community. It's a lot of money. It's a pain in the butt. There's so many water laws out here. I just don't understand it. So I just let somebody who would be able to do it legally and not get me in trouble do it. He told me we have like 7.5 pounds of pressure, of water pressure, which is like crap. So that is just bizarre. So we're actually going to extend our like xeriscaping. It's like the deserty kind of landscaping they do, which is like a rock garden with some cactuses and crap. Basically, we'll have 2 corners next to the driveway, you know, right here, like, so driveway is here, one here, and then the end of the house is back here, and one here, and then we'll have our garden, strip of grass, and then like our patio area here. But yeah, we're having to add even more xeriscape now because we just don't have any water pressure. And once we get all those other houses on water, because there's going to be like 200 houses in this neighborhood, we're going to be, there's going to be no pressure at all. So I don't know, maybe eventually even the grass is going to become xeriscape. That would be a huge waste of thousands of dollars, but I don't know. Now we're back into all the snow and stuff, guys. If you're wondering, I'm wearing my waterproof socks again. They're kind of becoming my no matter what hiking sock. I wear 2 pairs of socks, but I have these lovely yellow ones here. And they're that like kind of like scuba divery material. I've told you before, I used them when I went to Zion and we went up the Narrows, up the Virgin River. They're great because they prevent water from coming into your socks and your feet, as long as you don't go, you know, really deep in the water, and then it just goes over and under, or, you know, down your sock. But they're also really tough. So like they prevent blisters, because I have soft socks, tall socks underneath as well. Because just wearing these waterproof socks would be uncomfortable. They're not very nice, but they're a great protective layer. I should probably look them up again, find out like what they're going for, and actually review them, because they are, they come highly recommended by me. If there's any chance that you're gonna run into water and you're hiking, even if you're not wearing them, just keep them in your backpack or something and yank them out. If you have to cross a river or something, then do it. That would be my suggestion. So, yep. It's so bright out with this snow and stuff. My vision's a little purpley. I could really go for my sunglasses, but no, I had to forget them in my car. So, yeah. The car I own, it's really good on gas. I like it enough. It doesn't win my heart. I've wanted to trade it in or replace it many times, but I haven't. I should have brought, I got this like bottle now that has like the life straw inside of it, and I could scoop up all this snow. Now I could add to my water supply. I've got my lunch on me again and like 2 Gatorade. My Monster's back in the car so that I don't burp. But shoot. I don't know. I am a little concerned about my water supply now. I haven't been drinking a lot. Oh, but my car. When I had my company with my business partner, I bought a 2005 Dodge Ram 1500 black, really pretty, had 65,000 miles, really clean. We 65,000 miles. It had the Hemi V8. It was awesome. Quad cab, 4-wheel drive, sweet. You know it's a good looking truck when you notice an uptick in girls checking you out because of the truck. But also a lot of people giving you dirty looks because they assume you're a racist. That's just the unfortunate thing. Everybody judges you on your appearance. Anyway, when I had the truck, there was a point when we were thinking about getting like the tilt dump trailers and like renting them out, kind of like people do dumpsters, and doing that as a side hustle. And that truck just, it could do it. But those dumpsters or tilt trailers can get very overloaded and very heavy, and it'd just be too much for a half ton. So I took it to a Ford dealership in like northern Ohio, like Akron or something, and I was gonna trade it in there for a single cab, long bed F-250, and it would have been like a straight trade. But it was a older 250. It was a gas V8 still. I think it was like a V10 Triton, which are pretty bulletproof. They're horrible on gas, but gas wasn't an issue back then. It was, you know, $2 a gallon. So we were trying to trade it in, and they told me that my truck came back as having a branded title. I've never heard that before. I was like, what are you talking about? It's a clean title. What is that? They're like, it was like it has structural damage and it's been repaired. I'm like, what? No, on Carfax it said it was clean. Like, yeah, we don't use Carfax, we use auto check. which is what like all dealerships use actually. Carfax isn't actually super good, I guess. And they were telling me that it appears that the car was bought on auction down in like Louisiana or somewhere south. The truck was, and they essentially washed the title by transferring through a couple different states that do not recognize like branded titles wherever else, and it wound up being a loophole. And then in Ohio, it then showed as a through Carfax as being squeaky clean, and they just, you know, hid the damage and stuff, and so that really sucked. So I was like, well, I guess I just have to drive the wheels off of it, because I like the truck a lot still. Because apparently my $14,500 truck I bought was actually worth about $3,500. So the dealership just didn't want anything to do with it. So that was a bummer. Then we you know, kept going along with the company and stuff. Eventually, my truck blew a head gasket. So we had to have the top end rebuilt. That was like $3,000. Then it happened again because there's an air pocket in the radiator because they didn't flush it properly. So then it blew another head gasket. So rinse and repeat. You know, this time they cut us a deal and it was like $1,800 or something like that. At that point, I just had so much stinking money in it, and it felt like the CV joint was going out on it, or maybe the transmission, I don't know. The company was no more. So I just basically got like $5,000 worth of credit card debt for this truck that may or may not need a new transmission shortly. So that really upset me. So as soon as I saw my car up for sale, I've always liked Mazdas. So, holy moly. Once I saw one available, brand new, it was a holdover from like the last year. I jumped on it. That over there, that small island, not those mountain ranges out there, but over here, that's Antelope Island. That is like out near Promontory, that area, and that would be where like the golden spike for the Transcontinental Railroad is at, and then like that's, you know, how you get down into like the Salt Lake from the north. Anyway, look at this. It's a heck of a view, huh? So, the Coldwater Canyon trail that we did, the first one, if you can see where all these evergreens are here, and you see another mountain on the other side, like another ridge, it's in there, I think, is where we were coming up. That would make a lot of sense. And that's where we were looking, we were climbing up the real steep bit, and I started sliding down when I was on all fours and I quit. It was like in between those two ridges, obviously lower in that canyon, but there nonetheless. And then over there, in this area, is the old South Skyline Trail valley, if I'm not mistaken. We'll know better when we actually get to Sardine Peak, because Sardine Peak basically looks almost directly up that valley. We're not there yet. This is just a nice lookout. So, ow. I might take some photos of this while we're here. Fun. So we've been going for almost 4 hours. It's 3 hours and 40 minutes. Oh, remaining time. Does it think that we're on the Coldwater Creek? That's funny. So we actually don't have very far to go. We've gained 800 feet of elevation, so we're at about 7,000 feet. We have another, I don't know, 500 or 600 feet to gain. Well, no time but the present. Battery is at, sorry guys, you're at like third or so. But yeah, all those little trees down there. Pretty. All right, let's continue on. So I guess it feels like it's probably in the 50s still. I'm moving a lot, so it could be a little bit cooler. Might be in the high 40s. I don't know. And I'm in the sun. But there's still snow up here and stuff. Tell you what, this is nice though. Very nice. Huh. I can go either way. Which way's the way to go? Oh, okay. It really doesn't matter. Let's just go this way. They kind of run parallel. I don't know if I'd have to worry about my car getting towed, but this would be good to, I don't know what it's like at night. This might be a good place to like camp out, but you'd have the city lights, and then that would ruin your view of the stars and everything. That would suck. What I really want, if you ever seen the photos or videos from like out in the country or out at the ocean, like there's no light pollution from cities. You can see like the whole Milky Way basically. It's spectacular. That's what I really want to see. Do some just stargazing without a telescope, just the naked eye. You know what I'm thinking? Next time I stop, just change your battery, scooping a bunch of snow up and throwing it in my water. Not worried about getting sick from it. Whew. Yeah, I get a lot of purple vision from all this snow. It's just so bright. Another little view of Snow Basin Resort. There's some wildlife up here too. Critters running through the bushes as I'm walking up. Yeah. So, yep. If you're interested in any like preparedness channels, my sister's channel, Not a Acres Homestead, is really cute. Especially baby Ella. She's in there a lot. It's really cute seeing her trying to play in the dirt when my sister's planting planting all of her crops and stuff. Sorry. Holy cow. My throat got really dry. So, yeah, it's cute. They kind of document their attempts at being a little bit more self-reliant. I like it. You should check it out. Basically, all my videos, I try and put links down in the description for her channel. Doubt she does for me. She's a jerk. But they've got some cute videos on there. It's worth a look. And then of course, I intend to kind of have various different subjects and stuff that I cover. Wow. So yeah, check out my other stuff too if you like the hiking stuff. You know, I've got gear reviews on, you know, a few things right now. I would like to, you know, keep getting new stuff and checking it out and see if it's good. I mean, here's the thing, most things are pretty good. But yeah, be nice to just kind of let you guys know my thoughts. Test stuff out when I come out here hiking or wherever, let you know. It's nice. Looks like we're getting kind of close to the peak. And of course, this is turning into prime snake country. Yep. So we're basically there. This whole like big rock right here that I'm next to, like up here, is going to be the peak. You can kind of like loop all the way around apparently. There should be a good point to actually get to the very tippy top. Really hope there is some snow up there. Now my mind's set on it. I actually want to throw it in my bladder. Do 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 do. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. The desire for a drone is strong with me. I really want to buy another one. I almost did on a whim this morning getting ready. I was watching this YouTube channel, S2 Underground. He's like a former intelligence officer or analyst for the military. He's just got really, really cool views on stuff. And besides just the recreational aspect of a drone, he really kind of sells me on how cool it'd be to have one for like a tactical scenario, even as a civilian. There's like rioting and stuff like that. Throw a drone up in the air and you can figure out if it's coming towards you or something like that. If you need to get the heck out, and then like you can keep it going and kind of like be in your little helicopter eye in the sky and avoid angry mobs or something that way if like riots ever break out again like they did, you know, a summer ago. All sorts of things. It could be really, really useful. If you are, you know, out here hiking like this and you get stranded, you could throw it up in the air and, you know, if you are like talking to the police or something like that, like, hey, I'm, you know, I broke my leg or something, come get me. They don't know where you are exactly. You could fly your drone down and, you know, kind of hovering from them and be like, you know, this way, and kind of guide them or something. I mean, it is kind of exciting just what that technology offers if you're creative enough. Yeah, I'm just dying to have one. So you are at almost at right here. All the snow is. I might stop, refill, or get you a new battery, and then scoop up my all precious snow. This is okay. Yeah, I might do that, guys. All right, hold on a tick. I'm gonna replace your battery and we'll continue on. All right, guys, we're back. Yeah, I did grab some snow. throw it in my hydration bladder. So it's all topped off. So that'll be good. Because it's all melting pretty fast. And there's no saying what it's going to look like up there. If it's clear at all, obviously, you know, if there's no tree coverage, there probably won't be any snow at this point. Because it's still, I would say, 50 degrees or so. Maybe even warmer, you know, mid 50s. I don't know. There's a lot of water flow from all the ice melt or snow melt. Well, plenty of people footprints. So someone's been up here at least within the last couple of days, if not today. So, gotta go this way. That way is another trail apparently. So, yeah, let's go this way. The snow is kind of slushy, so it's a little slippery. Yeah. This would be a spot where I would absolutely have to like turn down the exposure on the camera. Because all this white, man, it's blinding me. Oh, that's delicious water. Got through what was warm in the hose to all the snow stuff. Oh yeah, bueno. Huh. Man, this is kind of sloppy snow. It's just slush, really. Again, waterproof socks, man. I'll have to do a review on them, huh? Oh, wow. Look at that. Super cool. Oh, and you can almost, the Pineview Reservoir is just through those trees, if you can kind of see it. I know, because people taking photos, there are better views of it from here. I don't know if I have to go back and take that trail that was to the right, or up on top I can get a better shot of all this, but we'll check it out. So, I recognize that over there. All of that is leading up into Powder Mountain. That little winding road, so there's like that town there. That's where the other canyon is at. It feeds out into there. So if you take the Skyline Trail, it would go all the way across those ridges and then eventually make it over to that canyon. Kind of over this way, if that makes sense. But that winding road gets to Powder Mountain and its resort. So that's really cool. It's nice to kind of learn. You can look at it on the map and be, oh, okay, but having been to these places, it's fun to kind of have it as a library in your mind and know really what you're looking at. Dude, to slip down that would suck. You'd be banging against some trees. Yeah, people said it was a little overgrown towards the top. I don't know. It's not hateful yet. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's not really bushwhacking. They're kind of wimpy. So, when you remember when I was on the old South Skyline Trail, one of the last places I looked and I ran into that rattlesnake that was alert and awake, wasn't frozen. I was in a lot of thicket like this. That was, sorry. I was in a thicket like this. And it was actually pretty tall. I don't know. By now they're going to be totally ruined. How much it rained and snowed and stuff. But it kills me. So I'm not certain of this. But I think it's possible to actually use a different drone controller on it. Okay, so that's the Pineview Reservoir down there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yep. Last year that got down to 10% capacity. And that basically feeds like greater Ogden. Like a lot of people depend on that for water. There's just too many people out here. So if you plan to move to a desert area like this, you better have like water storage. Because more and more people are moving here. Housing's, ridiculous, but then also as more people get here, more strain on the water infrastructure, and then there could be some real shortages, so you better have a safety net in place. Growing up in the Midwest, there really isn't a shortage of water. A lot of times there's too much water. Yeah, look at that. Looks great, doesn't it? And all those mountains over there. Looks like somebody's actually got a boat out there. 2 boats. Water's probably a little cold. They're probably fishing. Pineview, I would actually like to pick up fishing, but one hobby at a time, huh? Pineview actually has tiger muskie. Muskellunge is like the full name. But muskie are really big, long-living, bony fish. They can get like 4 feet long or maybe a little bit bigger, but they'll live for like 50, 60 years. It takes them a long time to mature, but like they're kind of prized, as they say, and people from kind of all over will come and try and fish them. You are not allowed to like keep them and eat them. It's just catch and release, but they are a carnivorous fish. Really cool. I learned about them through Red Dead Redemption 2. Me and Alex would just play that game and like go fishing or hiking in that game and just bullcrap just like we are. And yeah, that was a fish that caught my attention because it's huge. Catching little things doesn't really excite me, but trying to catch a big freshwater fish like that, heck yeah, that sounds cool. So anyway, yeah, Yeah, this is slushy stuff. My boots definitely wet because my feet are getting a little cold. Not bad at all. But if I didn't have these socks on, I wouldn't be thrilled. Because walking back, you know, you'd have the water-soaked feet. Must be a rabbit up here. And water-soaked feet on a long hike like this would just turn into nasty blisters. I'm good. Blisters suck. Not bad, I tell you. Not bad. It's turned out to be a very pleasant, very easy hike. I'm happy. You can just hear the water dripping off this ledge. You know, I thought about bringing my spotting scope, and of course I forgot again. I've only got a little tripod for like when you're bench rest shooting. But like if I had a tall tripod, that'd be great for like just looking at stuff. All right, so it looks like I just go this way and follow this edge here. This is where you gotta be careful because like if you miss that ledge, it's kind of slippery, dude. You'll probably roll down the hill a little bit. Some sort of critters out here. That looks kind of doggish, that footprint. Oh, this is pretty. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, you can see I'm kind of slipping. This is nice though. Woo! This is nice. I'm just going slow because it's this kind of snow is just so slippery. So that's actually kind of deep. Yeah, if I slipped down here, I'd go off that cliff and die. Absolutely. So, even a trail like this, you kind of have to respect, huh? I love this. It's nice and shaded by the evergreen. It's kind of snow covered. Very nice. Snow is still kind of deep here, probably, I don't know, 4 inches, maybe up to 6 inches deep. But this whole stinking thing, you've got like scattered kind of rock faces and then just a sheer drop. Ugh. So I'm like stomping into the snow to really kind of dig in. Oh, it's slippery just walking up this little hill. Yeah, dude, Without my waterproof socks, I'd be soaked. All right. So, let me see. I am kind of placing myself against this tree. I'm gonna check and see where that old South Skyline Trail is in reference to here, because I've got like 3 canyons in front of me. Okay, so no, we're not there yet. As you can see, it is saying it is basically to our 6 o'clock. So none of that is it yet over here. When we get to the top, you know, here-ish, we should be able to figure it out. So, okay. Sardine Peak, go back to it, navigate. So as you see, seems as if, I don't know, the peak is, you know, up here, obviously. I'll have to try and find a way to actually get up to the peak. We've had some pretty good views though. Good view though, huh? Push off the tree, get back on the trail, keep going. So, yeah, I'm just kind of kicking like this in with my feet to dig into the snow. Luckily, the ledge is definitely getting, you know, more level with me, or it was. Now I mention it, it's another drop off. I don't know. Do any of you guys have a fear of heights? I do. Like, when I have like stable ground and stuff, I'm fine. Even some like cliff faces, I can walk pretty close to the edge. But if I'm like walking on like a catwalk or anything where I can like see through the surface or like whatever, that's when I really get up freaked out. Now obviously there's a limit to, if I was like super duper high, it wouldn't matter. I'd be freaked out. Like here, I'm aware of like this little, like I have a foot, and then if I slip and I don't catch any of that crap, I'm just gonna keep sliding. I'm aware of that, trust me. So, yep. But so far, this has been a pretty good hike. I would recommend this. I would recommend doing it on a weekday like this, because it's apparently pretty stinking busy. But yeah. Eh. Okay, cool. Is this the end of the trail? Kind of says you... does say kind of dead end eventually. Like it doesn't loop all the way around. And that's getting very slopey. So if I want to get to the top, I think I have to just bushwhack up. And honestly, here doesn't seem like a terrible place to do it. So I should actually probably put my gloves on. Show my hands are gonna get slushy and muddy. Yeah. Gloves. Yeah. Oh, darn it. This happened again. So this happened last time. Luckily I discovered it has like a little spring action right here. I can pull that back and hook it back in. I'd rather have that happen a lot than actually be breaking the band, you know? So all you do here is push down and it's in. Just that easy. Oop. Sorry, I'm putting my watch back on now. So, yep. The nice thing about snow is it leaves footprints. So, don't really have to worry about getting lost. Unless, of course, it starts snowing again. There shouldn't be any risk of that today. The skies are perfectly clear. So, alright. Back in action. I'm just gonna probably do it on all fours. Don't make fun of me. It's just, or bear crawl. Okay. Not bad. Got a bit more to go. I can walk bipedally now. And now back on bear crawling. A little slippery. Oops. Now I was worried about the snow melting on me. Oh. Ooh. Ah. Oh, definitely hear a helicopter overhead. Good. We survived. Yeah. Ah. Oh, I am covered in ants. Oh, that might be why. I walked like through an ant hill. Whoops. That pissed them off. So that just looks too much like rattlesnake territory. I'm not doing it. And based on how it looks, it doesn't look like it actually gets me to view the Skyline Trail, old South Skyline Trail like I wanted. So I'm going to take us, remember where it forked off? I'm going to go back there and try and get a good view from there. That definitely looked like, based on where we are on the map, when I looked down all trails, that would give us a really pretty clear picture of it. So that's what I want. We've had some pretty cool views, but none really yet of looking up the canyon as I was hoping. So we're gonna double back. This way. Yeah. Slippery. All right. Shoot. Oh, I almost fell head first. Yep, on my butt. All right, crab walking, I guess. Woo! Ow! The tree branch smacked me in the head. Ah! All right, and we made it. Right? Nope. Have to go down there. Almost. So far it's been a good trail. The overlooks have been great. It's been very scenic really the whole way. At this time of year and this time of the week, it's really just you. So yeah, go during the week. It's my recommendation. So if you remember, when I was looking on the All Trails app, you know, it was saying to see our canyon, we have to go this way or be facing that way. And with me going up that mountain and all that brush in there, it's right there in the sun and it's actually pretty warm there. This is really cold, like 10-15 degree difference. There's a good chance I'd run into a rattlesnake, and you know me, I don't like no stinking snakes. So let's go this way, and where that junction was, let's check it out and see if there's a good view from there. There should be. But yeah, it is a nice hike though. I like this. And if you're wondering, oh well, you can tell when I was climbing, I'm wearing a t-shirt. Depending on how hot you get when you're working, you know, I could say you could easily do this with just a t-shirt on. Heck, maybe even shorts, but when I was climbing and all that stuff like I was, no. You know, my nice knee pads really help too. They're built in these pants. Oh, hold on. The missus is calling. Hold on. Give me 5 minutes. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Had to talk to my fiance. She was calling me. She just got off work. I'm still up here in the mountains, obviously. So yeah, we're gonna head back and see if we can get a good view of our canyon. I mean, that's a heck of a view, but that's not our canyon, but it's still awesome. And then from there, we will, I'll just probably say goodbye to you guys and head on my merry way. I had intentions to record some like conversations up here, but I really wasn't thinking about what time it would be. It's easy to forget, you know, up here. Time kind of ceases. You're just in your zone. So, oh well, but what a frickin' view. That is cool, huh? I mean, that is cool. I don't really care to go down to that cliff. Just cause, I don't know, a little slippery. That ledge is like 10 feet of dry, but I'm good. We got things to do. We're on a schedule, aren't we? We're cool. Man, that was the best decision ever. Sticking all that snow in this, holy moly, is it nice and cool. And it's a little cool on my back. It's not freezing, but you know, my back even still gets sweaty doing this. And that certainly helped. So, yep. Kind of glad we didn't run into like a freaking mountain lion or something, because I don't have protection on me. He would ravage me. Probably should have. I just thought there'd be a bunch of people on this trail. There wasn't. I should be smarter than that. With it being weekdays, the only people you're really gonna run into are retirees or people on vacation out here. But yeah, I've got a weird schedule. I'm kind of like, it's not, but the closest thing you could probably associate it to is like firefighters. They you know, do a bunch of hours on and they're off for a couple days, and a bunch of hours on and they're off, but it's kind of weird. That's kind of me. Kind of weird. All right, there's that post up here. Well, coming back this way was a lot faster. Almost stepping in my own footprints. Wow, that melted already. You can see like how my footprints have already melted and everything. Like this is, there's probably a bunch of runoff right now from up here. So yeah, I don't know what the heck this sign is. Hiking, obviously it's meant for hiking up here, but I don't know. Yeah, my boots are completely soaked, so yeah, I would definitely recommend these waterproof socks a million times over, which I already have, clearly. So we're gonna kind of pick up the pace a bit. I mean, going downhill is easy, right? So we're gonna go down, then we're gonna check out our cool view, if we can get it. And then I'll shut you guys off because you don't really need to watch the walk back. I mean, I know I'm awesome. I've got a sweet and sultry voice, but you guys got things to do, huh? Earlier when I was talking about having a punchable face, listening to myself on the GoPro, on like YouTube and everything else, it does make me realize, I mean, I was in fancy choirs and stuff, so I knew I had, you know, a tenor voice or more baritone now, but, you know, I can hear when I speak that it's really smooth and silky. But in my head, it doesn't sound exactly like it does on recording. On recording, I can see how some people, if they're like prejudiced against like homosexuals or, you know, gay people, whatever, they might assume something like that about me. I've had a lot of gay guys hit on me and they've assumed. But, you know, I can't control my voice. It's just what I was born with. So, anyway. Hey, hey, hey. Ah. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I've got nephews with deeper voices than me. I can't control that. So, if all the other ones were not Old South Skyline Trail, I don't know if that is either. I'm just guessing, guys. Let me look on all trails real quick. Because, I mean, that's Pineview right there, the reservoir. Let's check. All right. Boom. Ba-dum bum ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum bum. Oh, whoops, I did Coldwater. Haha. Wrong one. Old South. Oh, okay. So, Old South Skyline Trail should be visible here. Right? Yeah, so those trees are blocking it. It is actually, you can kind of see it from here. But, yeah. So, you can kind of see how that mountain goes down right here, like this. And then you have the one in behind it. That canyon right there is where we were at. So I don't think this is the peak that we were seeing then. I think we were seeing, what is the other peak? Maybe Allen Peak, which is another one we can get to from here. Which is 9,000 feet instead of like the 74 that this is. So that might be it. But yeah, we're looking, that canyon basically goes behind that pine. And it comes up like that, as you see, up there. And that's where we were at when I lost the drone. So it's interesting. Not a perfect view because trees are in the way and stuff. I was kind of hoping for a perfect view, but what are you gonna do, huh? All right, put my phone back. All right, guys. Well, actually, why don't we give you just a little bit of time out here looking at all this. And that'll be it, because if that's as good a view we can get, there's really no sense, you know, doing anything else. So let's just sit out here and enjoy this view for a couple minutes, and then I'll say goodbye, all right? All right, guys. Well, this has been Andrew Talks. I thank you for hanging out this long. You are awesome if you have. Thank you so much. I ask that you would just like, comment, subscribe, and share to your friends who might like this kind of stuff. And check out my other material too. You know, I'm growing. If you comment or something like that, I'll be able to see it and respond back to you pretty quickly if you have any questions or suggestions. But yeah, you guys have been awesome. And I thank you for being such audience. I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it's been Andrew Talks, guys. Hope you have a great day, all right? Bye, guys. Do you guys see that? It looks like a guinea or something. She's got her little chicks with her. It's cute. This is me walking back, obviously. But yeah, she's just got her little babies, her little chicks. She kind of sounds like a chicken. And the baby's like right next to her too. Yeah, she absolutely sounds like a chicken. All right. Get off the trail, Mama. Oh, your baby's going a little slow. See, look at him. Come on, baby. You don't have the best instincts as a mom. See, yep. Little guy fell over. What do you have, like 4 babies, Mama? If I was a predator, I would just gobble them up. You're not a very good mom. So there's a baby there. Baby obviously right here. I think there's probably 2 more right in there. Mom's on the other side of the bush now. She kind of sucks. All right, guys. Go to your mom. I don't know if you guys can hear him. Kind of tweeting at Mom. So, that was interesting. All right. Well, guys, again, this is Andrew Talks. Thanks for watching me. Like, share, comment, subscribe. All right. If anything else happens interesting on my way back down, I'll let you know. Bye.